Welcome to Arts and Entertainment Houston Style. I'm your host, Bourgeois, and today I have with me artist Litibth Andre. Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Great, thank you for coming. Let's start with the basics. Tell me a little bit about the type of art that you do.
Well, my favorite is portraits. I also do landscapes, wildlife, I do still life, and a little bit of surrealistic art.
Okay. Now, one of our pictures that will be shown is of Annie. Mm-hmm. What is the story behind that?
Well, Annie is someone that I've known indirectly for some time, and she offered to sit for me, and she was looking for something for a Valentine's Day gift. Okay. And I've known her family for a while, and I was very happy that she agreed to pose for me. So she posed for me and a group of other artists, and we had lots of fun with that.
Good. Is it hard to find people to pose for you?
Sometimes it is. It's amazing, but you know, there's beauty in everyone, and we're looking for people to highlight their features, their coloring, their style, just about anything. You know, fascinates us artists, particularly when you're looking at someone and their features. Everyone's different, so everyone has a lot of beauty and different things to offer. So we're always looking for someone that's unique, and everyone is unique. So.
And that is where the true statement, art is in the eye of the beholder, or beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So the artist really gets to pull that out and find those little things, or even the big things, and just add to. Is that right?
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, you know, I paint with a few artists regularly, and we all have our different styles. So when you're walking by, particularly when we're painting someone that I know, I can recognize everyone is lifting something from the individual and putting it into their portrait with their own style and their own technique, and none of them are identical, but you can recognize the individual in each one of the portraits.
Now there's one that you have last to market. Where was that?
That's in Mexico.
Okay.
And what was fascinating about that is that after being there several times, I was born in Mexico, and I grew up there, and I've been back many times. Having walked that cobblestone street many times, and then putting it into painting, the process of painting transports you and takes you there, and you become very connected to what it is you're painting. So the funny thing was that after completing the painting and, you know, hanging it and whatnot, I went back there, and I was walking down that cobblestone street, and it was so interesting because it felt like I was walking into my painting. It was a strange feeling.
I can imagine. How long have you been painting now?
Well, for quite a while, since 1980 is when I had my first show. Okay. And that was in oils, but I did multiple other mediums. I did watercolor, colored pencils, acrylics. I'm also a designer, so I applied all of those materials to my models, and you know, always exploring something different.
Okay. What is your favorite, oils or pastels?
Well, I don't work pastels as much because of the dust. I'm not real good with dust, but colored pencils comes very close to some of the texture, and I like that very much. Oils is very bold, and there's a smooth and creaminess about it. Acrylics are also bold in a different way. I feel more creative and inventive. I use acrylics for things that I create from my imagination most of the time. And sometimes I use a mixture like watercolor and colored pencils, for instance, to give me a little more depth and tonalities and things like that.
So anyone who comes to your show is going to be seeing a whole bunch of different things.
Pretty much. Even though I try to group some things, but a lot of times, if it's by subject, you might have a variety of mediums. And sometimes, for example, on a portrait, the individual will tell me what it is that I need to use as far as the medium or the subject in general. Sometimes I will just see some textures that I really want to work with pencil. Sometimes there's young children, and I really like to do those in watercolor.
Okay. You have a lot of different showings. On our website, you've given us some of the ones that you're doing. What's the next one that's coming up for you?
Well, there's the continuation of Spanish Flowers. That's going to be on through the end of March.
Okay.
And Eastman Gallery is going to be on for this month as well. And that's going to be an ongoing exhibition, and I'll be changing the pieces. So it'll be a different piece every other month.
Okay.
And a couple other opportunities along the way.
And they can go to your website, which is?
Yes, it's lilibethandre.com.
Okay.
And if they click on the news link, that's usually where I post what the new shows are going to be.
Wonderful. Well, great. How long, I know I've asked you how long you've been doing this, but did you ever do this as a child?
Yes, in fact, I felt I was really an artist when I was in first grade. It's an old story. I was in Catholic school. And I don't know if you're familiar, they used to have these little saint cards, about the size of a business card or something. And I had one of the Virgin Mary, so I took some illustration board. I believe it was, must have been 8 by 5 or something. And I drew it with crayons. And it was a blue, I remember it was blue paper, and I did it, and you know, I saw it as an adult because my mother kept it, and the scale and everything was fine. I was pretty amazed where, you know, I've always been fascinated with people, so I guess just from, you know, observing and watching, it helps, and of course practice.
Yeah. Did you find a period of time that you had stopped, and if so, why?
Well, there was a time when my kids were very young that I stopped because I didn't want to have the chemicals around. So I purged my house of chemicals and went all natural and whatnot. So that kind of it put it at a standstill. But then I realized that I was doing a lot of creative work in my other work, and whatever I did always had some illustrations or some photography or some drawings. So there was always some of that, and then I realized that there were all these other mediums that weren't as toxic, and I could, you know, bring that on, and that's pretty much when I decided to make sure I had some art in my life.
There you go. You kept it going. That's good. That's important. Well, I thank you very much for coming. Your artwork is beautiful, and I'm sure our guests will see it at the end of the show, and they'll feel the same way.
Well,
and
thanks.
so you keep it up, and we'll, who knows, we might see you in a gallery or museum sometime soon.
That'd be great.
Thanks for watching this show of Arts and Entertainment Houston Style, and we'll see you real soon.